MSB here, and it's time to unveil my new draft format. In these videos, I'll go over some of the hard draft choices I made, discuss the finished deck, and showcase the best match with commentary. So, let's get started. In today's draft, I went into it wanting quick matches, win or lose, so I decided to force an Orc Rush deck, meaning I limited myself to picking up Orc cards without really considering other shards. Forcing a shard or deck type doesn't always work out, but here's how the draft went. The Eldon's Distress Signal rare really isn't impressive because it takes so long to power up, and I don't think it's worth rare drafting. The Furious Taskmaster, though, fits the deck I want to force perfectly, so I take it over the Savage Raider. I have my first moment of indecision here, but go with Ruby Aura over Repel and the Roostosaur to keep forcing Ruby. The Command Tower is nice, but I would rather have the 2-cost combat trick and make sure I'm signaling to the next drafter that Ruby is closed. This comes down to the Darkspire Enforcer versus Crushing Blow, which is one of the best combat tricks for a Ruby Rush deck. I go with the Enforcer though, just to keep Blood Orc open in case a Throat Cutter comes up. I then take an Arena Brawler, and then a Ruby Enchantress, as the Kindling Skarn won't get to pump up much, if at all in draft, and the Infiltrator bot is a 5-cost, which is a bit outside the curve I'm going for. Next is a Malfunctioning Robot, as the Scrap Welder is a 4-cost, which requires an artifact to be good, and the Shadow Blade isn't nearly aggressive enough. My next two pulls, the Wrathseeker and Savage Raider, give me confidence in forcing Ruby Orc, which is confirmed by my third to last pick, which has all 3 Ruby cards. I grab the Mortar Strike, and feel confident in my decision to force the deck type. In my second pack, I take a Savage Raider over rare drafting Uzume, and the too expensive Hellhound and Mortar Strike. The next tough choice is the Gem-Crazed Berserker versus Savage Raider versus Cerebral Fulmination. I go with the Berserker, as the Ruby of Flame gem provides the Berserker with some avoidance, and the Fulmination would likely give my opponent too many cards to either help them make a resource curve or too many blockers for me to get through. From there, I grab an Arena Brawler, Ruby Pyromancer, and a Suppressive Fire, just in case I need a finisher, instead of hate drafting a Diamond or Blood card. Soon, the viability of Blood is in question, and I take another Savage Raider, figuring I'll likely go Mono Ruby. A very late Time Bug comes up, which is fine with me because it's still only a 2-cost 1/1 flyer. Then another tough choice hits, where I have to choose between another Gem-Crazed Berserker, Teltaka, a Savage Raider, or a Sapper's Charge. I go with the Berserker, deciding I'll have a very low resource count in the deck, which wouldn't really support Teltaka, and the rare itself isn't very expensive because it's in the Orc starter deck. I also think the Savage Raider will circle back around to me. Capping off the draft, I get a Burn, a Ruby Pyromancer, a Charge Bot, another Wrathseeker, a Bombsmith, and my assumption is proven correct when the Savage Raider does come back to me. My Mono Ruby Orc Rush deck got a few decent cards, and I'm satisfied with the draft as I head into deck construction. In the end, my deck had a very tight resource curve, with only 5 cards at 3 cost and none any higher. Because the vast majority of cards had a 1 or 2 cost, I decided to go for a very low resource count, 14, to empty my hand quicker, or to jump up to 3 resources temporarily to cast one of those 3-cost cards. I put in 2 Crimson Clarities. The deck relied on getting lots of early game troops, and then using combat tricks like Crushing Blow and Ruby Aura to kill off my opponent's initial blockers. I managed to win my initial set of games 2-1. In that first round, one of my losses was due to the fact that I drew 4 resources in my opening hand, and then another few on the draws, pulling nearly half the resources out of the entire deck in just the first quarter of cards. A resource flood, if you will. In the second round, my first match was the opposite, drawing only 1 resource until turn 5. I was able to keep the pressure on due to the low curve in my deck, and as soon as that second resource was in play, I was able to clear away my opponent's second blocker, after which he forfeited the match. And now with the finals of the tournament in sight, I'll throw it over to the in-game commentary. Okay, so last time I got too few resources, so 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, too many resources. My opponent is likely going to sideboard more cards in, I need to get something faster. 3, 4, oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to keep this. So 4 resources and a decent Charge Bot and Burn, but then 4 resources and a Crimson Clarity. This is insane. I've got 14 resources in the deck. Yeah, okay, pass. This is ridiculous. 2 hand draws with nearly the full complement. Okay. The good news is with this one, I should have a pretty fast transition into the Gem Crazed Berserker. And then, of course, if my opponent doesn't have a Ruby troop or an Artifact troop, then I'll just be getting 3 free damage. Okay, drawing a card and getting a charge. Nin was an interesting champion pick. Okay, wow, did you see that? There was another resource that was buried. Thank you very much for making sure I didn't draw another resource. Can you imagine that? 5 resources again. Jeez. 2. There's this deck is nothing if not inconsistent when it comes to resource pulls. Crimson Clarity, and then get that Gem Crazed Berserker out. Yeah. Okay. Now we can get some solid 3 damage in each turn, since he didn't play anything defensively. And then I've got, of course, a Crushing Blow and a Bombsmith in hand. If he does, okay, Buccaneer. Buccaneer's a good tempo play. Yeah, that's pretty rough against rough decks. Not only for the cost increasing, which obviously doesn't matter because my hand is so full of resources. Okay, 1, 2. Well, those are 2 troops I could have liked. The Arena Brawler, especially. So yeah, good tempo play, the Buccaneer. Okay, Savage Raider. Let's throw out that extra one. Yep, throw that out. Let's go ahead and play our Savage Raider. I'm not going to play the Bombsmith because obviously that won't kill the Buccaneer. But I need to make sure that if he has anything like a burn, he uses it on my Savage Raider. Okay, Twisted Fate. Okay, so yeah, he's going nuts. And Adaptable Fusion, that's fine. Yep, ooh, a little bit of a yellow yellow orb. Adaptable Infusion Device of Yellow Sun. A little bit of a graphical bug there. Okay, not attacking. I'm guessing that means he's probably going to trade off. Perhaps. He'll draw a card. Obviously, he seems like he's pretty light on troops. Okay, that's great. Ruby Aura. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use my hero power. Generate that 3-1 with speed. And then swing in with both. And we'll see if he feels like trading for his Buccaneer against my Savage Raider. We'll see. Looks like he's trying to start up a discard sort of action, which is odd because the first game, you know, I just saw those dwarf troops, the Gearsmith and the Research Adept, so. Okay, no trading, that's fine. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and play out my Gem Crazed Berserker. Happy to be aggressive in this one. That's the name of the game. Get that aggression going. Obviously, I'm have no resources, so I can't play either of my quick actions if he does do something. Okay, Scrap Welder. Perfectly fine. If he wants to rush in, I'll take that 5 damage happily. Yeah, because then his troop is exhausted. So, yeah, that's easy. I'll take that 5 happily. I don't intend for this game to go long anyway. So, my Bombsmith is still pretty worthless. Furious Taskmaster, that's legit. Okay, so, I don't want to use my Crushing Blow yet. Because I want to save my Crushing Blow if he has a burn and tries to take out one of my troops. So what I'm going to do is attack with both, and then I'll hold on to my Ruby Aura. Great. Now you want to trade? Perfectly fine. Bam! So now I'm a 3-1 with Swift Strike, and that'll kill either of his troops. So, very happy with that. And then, like I said, I'll go ahead and... I'm not going to play out my Furious Taskmaster or my Bombsmith, because I want to save that resource in case he has something, so I can play my Crushing Blow. Because that's really the one that I want to save. I don't want to lose any more momentum than I already have from that Buccaneer. So let's see what he plays. A Fate Rack. Yeah, man, do it. You just start burning my cards away. That's perfectly fine. Boy, that's... You that's a bad matchup. You've got obviously a long game control Sapphire discard deck, and I'm a Ruby Rush deck. So it's like, yeah, that's fine. You can get rid of 10 of my cards. I really don't care. Cool, Ratseeker. Now I'm going to go ahead and play out that Furious Taskmaster, and I'll speed him up. Go ahead and get that. Yep. And the Orb of Doom. Speed him up. Make himself swift. And we'll attack with everything. Yeah. Coming to get ya! Here we go. And then I've got my Crushing Blow. I still got enough resources to play Crushing Blow when he does this. And then it's like, yep, Crushing Blow. And then I'm also doing 3 damage. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down to 5. And I still got a Bombsmith to take out anything that he plays next turn if it's a 1 defense. Yeah, he's in a bad way. I don't think there's anything he can do now. Very fast. Obviously, way too many resources, but, you know, again, which is crazy, but that's very fast. Yeah, yep, there it goes. There's the forfeit. Very nice. Very nice. That's the way the Rush deck is meant to go. After making it to the finals, my opponent revealed a deck which was the Achilles heel of my rushers. Blood Diamond with big defense troops, buffs, and Swift Strike. After getting stopped cold in the first match, I had an even worse second match when I again pulled 5 resources and a Crimson Clarity in my opening hand and initial pulls. When I set the resources of the deck at 14, I was concerned I wouldn't have enough resources, not too many. Regardless, placing second got me a good chunk of gold and 3 booster packs, which is well worth the entry fee. And speaking of rewards, ooh, Blessing the Fallen, taking it. Okay, pack 3. Jadam! Yoink! And right in the bin. So if you like my new draft format, be sure to leave a comment below, and subscribe to my channel for more DTCG videos. As always, I'm MSB, wishing you good games and good times.